Welcome back, sailors, to the sailing vessel Cyclops. This video continues to follow our adventures on the new JPK 39 FC. We are watching a compilation of our first two Spinnaker sets aboard Cyclops. Nothing more fun than analyzing and criticizing spin sets. Here, I'm hoisting the chute with a sock. I have a winch low on the mast for the spin and code 0 halyards. On my first set, I forget to secure the snuffer line, and I had to do boat ballet to retrieve the line. The 1,600 square foot Spinnaker is twice the size of my first apartment. Eventually, the sock reaches the head of the sail, aided by the filling Spinnaker. After the set, the chute started drawing because I was lucky with the sheet tension. I had preset the spin sheet to have the clue at the shrouds. Beginner's luck.
Okay, that's awesome. Let's see what the numbers are.
The numbers blow me away. The upper left number is the boat speed, over 8.5 knots. The upper right number has the wind angle of 140 degrees, and the lower right has the wind blowing at about 12 knots. This boat is fast.
Look, we are doing 140 true wind angle. We're in less than 10 knots of breeze, and we're doing over 7 knots. It's just like, and no effort. Just the big, wonderful chute pulling us along. We don't have a nickname for the big, wonderful chute yet.
First up, I had to ease the sheet. That thumping noise is me easing the loaded Spinnaker sheet in light air. Even in light air, one has to be careful with the loads.
Just giving a little more. Now, navigation-wise, we're still really good, aren't we?
The Spinnaker tack line is too tight for such a downwind course. I should have eased the tack line to allow the luff to move to windward away from the shadow of the mainsail. But I got distracted by my huge joy in how much fun this boat is to sail in light air. No need to run the motor. There is a need to clean the cockpit lines. I tested sailing at 155-degree true wind angle in only 10 knots. Cyclops still trotted along at 6.5 knots. A lot can be learned observing a boat's wake. One can see the wake change as the boat begins to plane. A boat's top speed is set by the length of the boat unless it can escape its own wave planing. This boat can plane, and we proved it in Greece. The French use the term glissant, which means gliding, for this phenomenon of exceeding the boat's wave. Enjoy the ride as we exceed 10 knots with no stress. Watch the puff heal the boat for a moment. Then the twin rudders keep me in control while the 9-foot keel pulls the boat back to parallel.
Why are you allowed to push so fast?
You might wonder why Gail is not participating in hoisting sails. She is willing and very capable, but I wanted to practice the mechanics of solo sailing. I am comfortable operating all the sails solo, but I appreciated the backup of a pair of hands in case of a major screw-up. As for docking, I was not yet ready to do that solo. Next year. As a fighter jet passed overhead, I joked to Gail that the fighter pilot should avoid my high mast. Soon the comedy would merge with reality.
Don't get my mask!
The breeze dipped under 10 knots when a military police boat approached Cyclops. They insisted we change our course to 000, the direction of the town of Etel. In today's sailing area is a forbidden zone used by the French military. We were well aware of the restricted area, but they had changed the location without warning. I replied in my subpar French to the military police that we needed 5 minutes to drop the Spinnaker. After a bit of self-imposed pressure, I had to do a quick and clean douse. All went well, and we drifted due north.
I'm just going to continue. Let's go to this place, right? So if I go to Etel,
After waiting a while, we called the military police for clearance to continue. No reply. It was lunchtime, so we considered silence a green light. Helpful tip: if you wish to invade France, noon till 2 p.m. is a great time. I really appreciate the main sheet setup on the JPK. For my usage, having the main sheet winch next to the helm is more convenient than up by the companionway. Cyclops has a bunch of lines to keep organized. I always figure eight my running rigging. This winter, I'm adding another pair of line bags to make organization easier. We are now arriving in Creusty. It is located close to the Gulf of Morbihan, a huge inland sea in which we will spend the next week exploring. You will notice I like to get the fenders and dock lines attached very early. We put 3 fenders on each side, 2 stern lines, and 2 midship lines, and 1 bow line. I raised the keel with a hydraulic ramp before any marina maneuvers. 1.3 meters of draft helps in getting a slip at a crowded marina. The cost is the boat does not track well with the keel up. However, with practice, I am becoming more comfortable with the leeway. Every marina in Brittany has significant tidal currents.
Pour une nuit du coup?
Une nuit, ouais.
Ok.
Est-ce qu'il a 4 voiles ou
Vous avez la taille du bateau?
11 mètres 7?
Et en largeur?
4. Jim Charlie, c'est vert.
Bah écoutez, vous pouvez prendre la A3.
A3.
Juste à droite là. C'est entre le A
C'est à
et le
l'autre
B.
côté.
Non, juste là. Vous passez juste là.
Ouais.
Là sur les ailes.
Ah, il y a, je ne sais pas,
Ouais, au fond à droite, c'est ça. Au fond à droite, c'est cette place-là.
D'accord,
Amarrage très bas.
d'accord, je vais là. Merci. Ouais.
Avec un S à la fin. Cyclops,
Ouais.
avec un S à la fin.
We're going to be a starboard. We're going to enter in and we're going to tie up on our port side. Sorry. Yep. But I have to be the boss right now. Back just a little bit if I can. Okay, that's good. Tie it off before I hit, and I'll put it forward now.
Customers. Due to a shortage of mustard seed, we are limiting customers to 2 jars of mustard per visit. Clearly, this rationing program did not work. It took us over a month to buy 1 jar of subpar mustard. Gail is traveling with her own French mustard next year. We bought our pillows on French Amazon, which come packed super thin and are amusing to inflate.
Voila!
So we're at 38% water fill. You can see water is written on this. Many a cruiser has put diesel in their water or water in their diesel tanks. We try to keep that under control. So there you go. You can see that better versus water and hose. And here's my newly acquired French hose, which is Clio. On this cold September morning, we are leaving for the Gulf of Morbihan. The entrance to the Gulf of Morbihan is deep, but can have currents that match the engine's power. We chose to venture out early to avoid fighting a foul tide. Leaving a slip looks easy, but I sometimes find it harder than arrivals. The boat is trying to accelerate and does not have good steerage with the keel up. When you see me leaning forward to the cockpit table, I am using the bow thruster. It takes me a while to get the mainsail hoisted. In 2023, I will work on my technique. I get so focused on technique and equipment details, I forget to look out and enjoy the beautiful view. I am so lucky to be on the water. I consider France to be one of the top places I've sailed. See you next episode when we visit a marina with a ferry.